Immerse yourself in contemplation of the moment, of what it truly means, to understand the depth of this brief yet profoundly significant instant. Imagine a country where the beaches are so magnificent and luxurious that even the famous Maldives, renowned for their white sands and transparent waters, might envy their beauty. This scene is not a fantasy or a figment of imagination, but a reality existing right now. It is about Malawi, a small but extraordinary country in the heart of Africa, which, despite its poverty and economic hardships, opens its doors to travelers into a world of breathtaking landscapes and unforgettable experiences that leave a lasting mark on the soul. Within this country live peoples and tribes where women are respected and empowered to manage many aspects of life, while men often become part of family life, leaving their parental homes to join new kinship ties. This is not a scene from a movie or a stage performance. It is real life, where traditions and modernity intertwine in an astonishing dance, creating a unique atmosphere. Although the country's economy faces numerous difficulties and challenges, the people of Malawi are renowned for their genuine kindness, warmth, and hospitality, always ready to share joy and warmth even with strangers, making them truly special. In this mysterious land, traces of history still remain, rooted in the distant past. For example, one can see the remnants of Scottish missionary David Livingstone, who left his mark on this land. Malawi is not just a dot on the map. It is a whole world of contrasts, a unique blend of natural beauty and cultural features waiting for explorers and adventure seekers. Fasten your seatbelts, because we are about to embark on this incredible journey full of discoveries and new impressions. The first thing to know about Malawi is that this country is an underrated gem of southeastern Africa. Although it has no coastline, it prides itself on one of the largest freshwater lakes in the world, Lake Malawi. This body of water covers nearly a third of the country's territory and serves as a vital artery for the population, providing fish, shells, and fresh water, becoming not just a natural wonder, but a source of wealth and prosperity for local residents. Contrary to stereotypes about Malawi's poverty, one can observe an astonishing diversity of natural landscapes, from picturesque mountain ranges covered with lush greenery to hills adorned with banana groves and mango orchards. If you think that poverty necessarily means a dull and monotonous life, you are deeply mistaken. Malawi impresses with its natural beauty, rich cultural palette, and diversity, which intertwine like a vibrant pattern on a carpet. Generous nature and the remarkable resilience of the local people enable them to make the most of this wealth. Therefore, if someone believes that Malawi is a country without prospects, it is worth remembering its lake and how it changes people's lives by giving them hope and the opportunity for a better future. The next important fact is that Malawi is a true paradise, hidden behind a veil of poverty and hardships. A view of Lake Malawi resembles a picturesque oil painting. Snow-white beaches, crystal-clear waters, and scenic fishing villages create an atmosphere of a secluded paradise, almost tinged with the scent of sea breeze. The only thing missing are sun loungers with cocktails and pleasant music to feel completely in a resort paradise. The irony is that there are almost no tourists, and those who do come pay exorbitant sums for the beauty and tranquility. Everything here is accessible yet simultaneously hidden from outsiders, remaining in the shadows. Malawi is not just a picturesque image on a postcard, but a real life filled with energy and optimism. Forget about the traditional and established patriarchal models that have been shaped over centuries in various cultures and societies, where men often hold the dominant role and women remain in the background, performing secondary functions. In Malawi, the situation is radically different. It is here in this African country that women not only own land, but also set the tone in public life, determining the main directions of development and the future of their communities. After marriage, the man moves into his wife's house and becomes part of her community, which radically changes the usual family dynamics. In this society, the familiar stereotypes deeply rooted in other cultures are absent. For a man, moving into his wife's home is not just a step, it is a real leap into the unknown, into a new reality where roles and statuses change. Women here act not only as landowners, but also as strategists, making crucial decisions regarding the future of their families and the entire community. These traditions help maintain harmony within society, creating a balance of power that promotes stability and development. While in the West, men often struggle for their place under the sun, proving their importance and pursuing their ambitions, in Malawi, men have found their way by accepting the rules of the game set by women. Here they do not fight for power, but perceive it as part of cultural norms, respecting and accepting the role of women in society. The fourth fact is an illusion related to tobacco, wealth accessible only to the chosen few. Malawi is one of the largest tobacco-producing countries in Africa. Imagine endless fields where thousands of people work, cultivating this valuable product for export, which brings significant income to the country. However, it is surprising that most locals hardly smoke, as cigarettes are a luxury item available only to a few. It turns out that a country where tobacco is grown abundantly cannot afford to enjoy the fruits of its labor. Most of the population prefers to spend their resources on more important needs related to supporting their families, education, or healthcare, rather than on purchasing cigarettes. This paradox is a vivid example of how a country's wealth, which seemingly should bring prosperity to its citizens, often remains out of reach for the majority. Behind the beautiful and well-maintained plantations lies a harsh reality, where local farmers work in the fields without receiving a fair share of the produced wealth. This is not merely an economic contradiction. It is a genuine social drama that reveals deep-rooted issues of inequality and injustice. The wealth generated by the country does not translate into the well-being of its people, prompting reflections on justice within the global economy. A country that feeds large tobacco corporations but is unable to provide its citizens with affordable tobacco serves as a stark example of this imbalance. Beneath the lush green fields lies a brutal and unappealing reality. Local residents labor in the fields growing tobacco, but remain on the sidelines, deprived of the benefits of their labor. This situation is not just an economic contradiction, but a real social tragedy, where the country's wealth does not reach its people. When considering justice on a global scale, Malawi stands out as a vivid example that challenges existing resource distribution systems. As for the fishermen of Lake Malawi, their lives are not just about work, but represent a whole culture passed down through generations. At night, under stars as bright as diamonds, they set out on their traditional boats, canoes carved from wood by hand. These boats are not merely transportation. They are true works of art, symbols of ancient traditions and rich cultural heritage. Fishermen use lamps to attract fish to their nets, creating a mesmerizing spectacle that combines ancient fishing methods with natural beauty. This process is like a ritual where nature, culture, and the ecosystem of this remarkable corner of the planet, home to vibrant fish, a riot of colors, and natural riches, are intertwined. However, this ecosystem is under threat. The main causes are overfishing and increasing environmental pollution, which, if not addressed in a timely manner, could lead to the disappearance of this natural paradise, the loss of unique biodiversity, and the decline of the beauty that attracts travelers and researchers from around the world. Therefore, when we watch the brightly colored, shimmering fish in the water, captivating with their vivid hues and graceful forms, it is important to remember the need to protect and preserve this wonder of nature. It was created by nature over centuries and should leave a legacy for future generations. Part 4 of 6. What is equally important is that music in Malawi is not just a background accompaniment to life, but the very breath of it, the rhythm that permeates every street, every house, and every village in the country. Traditional melodies played on drums have the power to ignite the heart of any listener, awaken genuine emotions, and even bring tears to their eyes. These rhythms are an integral part of the cultural heritage passed down from generation to generation, and even the most skeptical people cannot remain indifferent to their power. At the same time, gospel-style songs represent a special musical language capable of touching the soul of anyone hearing them for the first time or already familiar with this style. Local artists do not limit themselves to traditional melodies. They actively blend their roots with modern rhythms, such as hip-hop and reggae, creating unique musical combinations that captivate listeners and turn any space into a lively dance floor. Imagine the streets of Lilongwe, one of the country's cities where locals move in sync with the music, and the aroma of fresh treats and spicy herbs fills the air, adding a special color to the atmosphere. Every evening here turns into a small music festival where young performers, whether beginners or already well-known, share their joys, dreams, and struggles through their songs. For them, music is not just a hobby, but a means of self-expression, a way to share their story and find resonance in the hearts of listeners. In Malawi, this country where music speaks louder than words and often helps to understand the true mood of the people, everyone who has attended such a concert will remember it for a long time. It is definitely worth trying to attend at least one of these live musical events during your trip, because the experience surpasses any theatrical show or world-class concert. In this country, where the theme of education often faces various difficulties, the situation is not as rosy as in some other nations. Imagine a village where young school children are forced to sit directly on the ground, and instead of familiar notebooks and pens, they write with their fingers in the sand or on old boards barely holding together. Yes, it is the 21st century, an era of technology and progress, but the conditions in which these children live and learn resemble the past, times when technology had not yet become part of everyday life. However, despite all the hardships and resource shortages, these children possess one amazing trait: the incredible desire to learn, a thirst for knowledge that can change their future. They go to school with great enthusiasm, despite the lack of basic facilities, without comfortable desks, textbooks, or sufficient lighting. For them, each lesson becomes an opportunity to change their destiny, a chance for a better future, even if they have to invent their own ways of studying. Part 5 of 6. It is both astonishing and a little sad to realize that they lack even basic resources to receive education in comfortable conditions. Yet their drive and faith in the power of knowledge remain unwavering. These children, despite harsh circumstances, do not lose hope and continue to believe that knowledge can become their guiding star. Their perseverance and desire to learn evoke genuine respect and prompt reflection on the value of the comforts and conditions we take for granted. In Malawi, while most of us complain about inconveniences such as the lack of stable Wi-Fi and cozy cafes and restaurants, hundreds of kilometers away from civilization, people use every bit of modern technology to improve their lives, making them easier and more fulfilling. In this seemingly distant corner of the modern world, incredible feats of technology occur that often go unnoticed or underestimated because under normal circumstances, we do not recognize their significance. Despite apparent hardships and sometimes complete absence of civil amenities, Malawi is giving rise to a new reality full of amazing discoveries and spiritual riches, which commands genuine respect and admiration. One such cultural manifestation is the so-called Dance of the Spirits, an ancient tradition that serves not just as entertainment, but as a profound expression of reverence for ancestors. This unique celebration prompts reflection on the delicate boundary between our familiar world and the supernatural, on the unifying power of spiritual images, and on the true nature of human faith. At the core of this ritual is the Gulyamkulu dance, performed by men in bright masks and costumes representing spirits and ancestors. It is no coincidence that this ritual has been included in UNESCO's list of intangible cultural heritage, as its significance extends far beyond mere performance. In this magical act, participants become not just performers, but mediators between worlds, a bridge connecting our mundane, material world with the spiritual realm beyond. Have you ever seen men in vivid, sometimes frightening costumes and masks leap across the ground with movements resembling ghostly flickers? This is not just a spectacle for curious eyes. It is an ancient ceremony conducted during funerals, initiations, or festive events. Participants of this dance are considered the connecting link between the living and the dead, between our world and the spiritual realm. Their movements are filled with deep meaning and symbolism, conveying respect, remembrance, and a bond with ancestors. Mystical music, harmoniously combined with captivating costumes and rhythmic movements, creates a special atmosphere in which the presence of ancestral spirits seems tangible and real. This spectacle impresses with its power and beauty. Every gesture and mask tells a unique story, filling the viewer's heart with an indescribable sense of connection. While we are having a cup of coffee and discussing which variety to choose or how to decorate the interior, the inhabitants of Malawi are connecting with the spiritual world, demonstrating their deepest culture and faith. This shows that culture is not only a way to preserve traditions, but also a powerful tool for communicating with those who have left this world, leaving behind memories and spiritual heritage. Don't believe it? Then you should see this dance with your own eyes, feel its energy, and understand that each mask, each movement, is part of a grand spiritual dialogue. Malawi is not just a point on the map of Africa, it is a treasure trove of amazing discoveries and secrets known to few. A country where nature and culture merge into an incredible, mesmerizing dance, and the friendliness of the local people can melt even the coldest heart. Along the shores of Lake Malawi, you can encounter not only breathtaking landscapes filled with gentle greenery and azure waters, but also people willing to share their stories as if you were longtime friends. It's hard to believe that in the modern world, where everyone chases likes, popularity, and virtual fame, there are places where sincerity and genuine human connections are valued. Malawi can become your personal discovery if you're ready to leave behind your usual comfort and immerse yourself in an atmosphere of life filled with cross-cultural exchanges, emotions, and sincere human warmth. While many are immersed in their daily worries and routine tasks, the people of this region continue to preserve ancient traditions and maintain a connection with their ancestors, passing them down from generation to generation.